Cuando compites contra los mejores, tienes que subir el nivel. Por este motivo hemos invertido $100 millones en nuestras fábricas. Hemos contratado a los mejores para examinar cualquier variable posible y conseguir que la Chrome Tour sea más larga, veloz y más consistente que la Pro V1. Pero el objetivo no fue simplemente competir, sino ganar. Y ya estamos preparados. Pruébala y entenderás por qué Chrome Tour es el nuevo oro en rendimiento.
All right, welcome back to the interview area. We're here with Tyrrell Hatton, 1/71. Can you talk us through the round out there today?
A little bit of a mixed bag. Some really good stuff, some not so good stuff. But overall, I guess I'd say fairly happy in a sense of staying in the red after 2 days. It was there was some pretty tough pins out there, and I feel like I did a pretty good job the first sort of 10 holes or so, being in decent spots where if I did miss the green to sort of get up and down, and then it was a little bit inconsistent coming in, but I guess 1 over in US Open isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, still in the top 10 there. Are you? Did the course change at all conditions-wise yesterday to today?
I mean, the greens probably are getting a little bit firmer. It was, I mean, see, I 3-putted my first hole, and I'd spent a good like half an hour putting before going out, and yeah, I was quite surprised that I guess the speed of the first green compared to the putting green kind of caught me off guard. Like, I knew our first putt was quick, but so I guess that side was a little bit frustrating that the two speeds kind of didn't match there.
Open up for questions, Dan.
You've spoken in the past about some setups that you feel like don't, properly reward good shots. How would you describe the setup this week? Do you feel like they've got it right?
Yeah, so far, I mean, there's some greens where, I mean, I bet not many people hit the 8th green today. It's a tough pin to, I mean, even if you're hitting sand wedge or lob wedge, you're still probably not really going near the pin. Yeah, it is. I say it's fair so far. I think it's only going to get harder, like the guys that are playing this afternoon, where the greens were probably a little bit softer this morning, as they get firmer and probably faster throughout the day, because obviously it's really hot out there. Maybe the afternoon starters might not say the same thing, but obviously I can only play what's in front of me at the time, and for the most part I didn't have anything to moan about other than myself.
Over to the right, Mike.
Tyrrell, can you talk us through the 13th hole, especially the approach shot there? Didn't really get much of a break there.
Yeah, that wasn't a nice break. I hit a really good second shot in. Obviously too good. I pitched, what is it, like a foot up the flag, and then basically landed in sort of the back corner of the hole, and then spun off 25 yards away down into the bunker. That was a tough break. I hit 4 good shots there and walked off with 5. It's just not ideal. 11 was not a great bogey. I hit a poor 7-iron in there. I missed a lot of shots left actually with irons today, and then did really well to birdie 12, and then perfect position off the tee on 13, and end up making bogey without really obviously doing anything wrong, and sort of standing on 14. I just tried to say to myself to, like, not get in your own way now, and hit a really nice tee shot down 14, and then again lost another shot left, hitting wedge, and and then my first putt there, it just went through the fairway quicker than I expected. Putting uphill for the first bit, I knew I needed to give it a little bit of momentum, but yeah, so 3 putting there was kind of a bit of a blow, and then yeah, just obviously parred in.
Is it easier to accept breaks like that, bad breaks like that, at a U.S. Open where you know a lot of other people are going to kind of suffer the same fate?
I guess so. Only because it's obviously it is so hard, and generally par isn't a bad score. See, birdies aren't easy to come by either, but I guess accepting sometimes if you have hit a good shot and you get a bad break, kind of, although it stings, like just trying to move on from that. I'd say I've done better at that the last 2 days than maybe I have done so far this year. But it's more of just trying to accept that everyone's going to be making mistakes. It's not like other weeks where the winning score is quite a few under par, and you need to make birdies and bogeys sort of hurt a lot more than maybe they do this week. But just trying to keep plugging along.
Down in front, Gabby.
Hey, Tyrrell. Yesterday you were talking about how you kind of lose your head every week, and at the U.S. Open, other players are kind of brought to your level.
Yeah.
Can you just take us inside the mind of Tyrrell Hatton playing in a U.S. Open? What is it like up there?
I mean, sort of internally screaming for the most part. Yeah, there's just no like rest. There's no easy shots. It's quite a stressful 5.5 hours, to be honest. I think everyone would say the same thing, but is what it is.
Where do you like stack up, do you think, against like other players with dealing with those emotions that you're going to experience at a U.S. Open?
I don't know, it's hard to tell. Like, some guys can bottle it up, and I'm always pretty good at just showing you how I feel. And yeah, I'm not afraid to just get it out of my system. Although this week I'm trying not to sort of blow up too much, because I'm trying to give myself a little bit of grace on occasions.
Down in front, Josh.
You know, following up on the losing your head comment from yesterday, I even heard a volunteer mention to you on the 17th tee that they loved that you said that. Why do you think that was so well received?
I don't know. I think everyone knows me well enough by now to know what I'm like on the golf course, and I'm pretty honest. I'll just say it how it is, and I think everyone this week is going to sort of lose their head at some point. And it's like the same like at Bay Hill. Like, I was obviously fortunately I won that tournament in 2020, and that was like brutal over the weekend. I think I shot 3 over that weekend, and still won the golf tournament. And I guess it's a similar kind of feeling when you play a US Open. It's hard, and yeah, maybe everyone else getting a bit more frustrated is better suited for someone like me that is just constantly frustrated. But having said that, you still have to play really good golf. I mean, you can be frustrated and play awful and miss the cut, like so, yeah.
A couple more questions, Dan.
When you're playing, I don't know if you play for fun, but when you're playing for fun or not in a competition, is it the same?
Yeah. Like if I'm at home, I'd rather play than practice. Like, being on the range to me is mind-numbing and just boring. I get way more out of going out and playing a round of golf. And every time I go out, it's just trying to shoot sort of as low as possible. I guess kind of like what you do in tournament rounds too, but at least you have something to play for, and I mean, yeah, if you're level par through 5, you kind of lose a bit of interest, even if you're playing with friends. But like hitting bad shots will still frustrate me. Yeah, I want to be out there. It's more fun when you hit good shots, right? So just want to hit as many good shots as possible.
Have you ever tried to like? I don't know if someone ever said maybe if you calm down. Like, have you ever tried to be different, or have you just kind of embraced it for like always?
Yeah, I mean, like half the stuff I say on the golf course, I don't even know where it comes from. And like, there are some times where I'm like, I sort of like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, or I like cringe out a little bit inside about some of the stuff. But it's just a reaction. I honestly don't know where. It's not like I'm thinking about, oh, I've hit a bad shot here, I'm gonna let it rip. Do you know what I mean? It just comes out. Like, I don't know where from, but sometimes people find it amusing. Other times it's maybe not amusing. And as I said, that's probably more of the times where I think to myself, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
So,
Alan?
there's obviously a lot of talk about how hot you burn. Would you prefer that people discuss your achievements, which are pretty considerable?
Sorry, I literally couldn't hear that very well.
There's so much conversation about how you behave on the golf course. Would you prefer that if folks focused on your actual achievements as a golfer?
To be honest, it doesn't bother me too much, I guess. My golf has been pretty consistent in terms of where I've stayed at in the world rankings. And maybe if it was someone else, would they, I won't say be more respected, I don't know, like I'm quite happy. I feel like I'd potentially go under the radar a bit, which I'm more than happy with.
I mean, you've had top 10s in every major. Do you feel like you're ready to win one now?
I mean, time will tell. I mean, I feel like I've proved to myself that I can compete with the best players in the world, and winning Bay Hill is very similar to a US Open, to be honest, and Bay Hill generally has one of the best fields on the PGA Tour, so I know if I play the kind of golf I'm capable of, then I'll give myself a chance. I haven't really done that so far in majors. I haven't had a chance going into Sunday. But I'd like to think that if I got myself in a position, then I'd deal with it as well as I can. But yeah, ultimately, all you can do is try your best. And yeah, the biggest thing for me is trying to stay out of my own way as well, with not getting too frustrated and trying to accept certain shots and not let it boil over to the next one.
Yeah, final question, Adam.
When have you been your happiest this week?
When have I been my happiest this week?
Yeah.
Probably after dessert that the chef's been doing this week in the house. I'm sharing with Fitzy, and he always has a chef for the majors, and yeah, Sean's pretty handy with the dessert, so I'm in my happy place there.
What was the dessert?
Last night we had peanut butter brownies. The night before that, he did a chocolate mousse with orange shortbread. Off the charts good.
You have any idea how much you've been fined over the years for your outbursts?
How much I've been fined?
Yeah.
I think you'd actually be shocked, because you're thinking it's ridiculous amounts. Now, don't get me wrong, like, it's still a lot of money, but it is nowhere near. So, I'll give me your best guess.
100,000.
Mate, you are not even close.
Higher?
Not even in, I think, even with the DP World Tour, I reckon I haven't reached double digits.
Oh,
Anything else?
It's still quite a bit of money, but like it's nowhere near where you were saying.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Tyrrell. Good luck this week.
I've probably shot myself in the foot now. I'll get an absolute rascal one this weekend.
Hay un nuevo líder en rendimiento en el segmento de bolas Tour. Chrome Tour es más rápida, más consistente, más larga que la Pro V1. Pruébala tú mismo. Entenderás por qué Chrome Tour es el nuevo oro en rendimiento.